Welcome, everyone, to Intensity Broadcasting for coverage of the Goat Locker Racing Extreme Xfinity Series. Tonight, these Xfinity cars will be taking on Richmond Raceway for 175 laps of racing action. I'm going to be your announcer for tonight, Atlee Atman. I'm excited to be calling all the racing action here tonight. Right now, we're currently in practice with 3 minutes left. We see Jason Warren currently on the top of the board with a 22.27. Less than a thousandth off of him, or in between thousandth of a second. Second place is Eddie Smith. Third, Daniel Cunningham. Fourth is Jamie Mullins. And then rounding out your top five is Josh Oswald. So top five all very, very tight right now, all separated by less than a tenth. That's going to mean we're going to be getting ready for some good short track racing here tonight. A look at the current point standings. We currently see Eddie Smith is your leader in points. He's got 3 wins this season, 333 points, but not too far behind. Second in points is Cody McElwain. He has 324 points. Third in points is Jonah Colbert, 318 and 1 win. Fourth in points is Michael Kostick. And then rounding out your top five in points right now, it's Patrick Drobick. So a lot of close racing in the point standings. To give you a little recap on last week, we were at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. We saw 14 cautions for 69 caution laps and only one lead change. It wasn't looking like Cody McElwain was going to get the win, but he ended up leading the final 10 laps of the race, taking the win. We saw Travis Bieber take second, Charles Stevens finished third, Jacob Ellingson took fourth, and Michael Kostick finished fifth. And that meant that Cody McElwain got his second win of the season after winning at the Mid-Ohio Sports course earlier in the season. It does look like, though, that Cody McElwain is not in the session here tonight. So that will definitely hurt his point standings run as he's trying to get up there to Eddie Smith for the point standings lead. Now, we also have in the broadcast booth an in-car reporter, Matt Knights. I don't know if he's here right now. Matt, you got a copy?
I got you.
Awesome. Well, it's glad to have a little bit of eyes on the track here tonight. What are you expecting for tonight's event here at Richmond Raceway?
You never know with this group. We could go green for quite a long time, and we could have a whole bunch of cautions like last week. We'll see. Depends on how anxious people are.
Yeah, Richmond Raceway is definitely a track where it can be a lot different. I know in the NASCAR Cup Series we see races that are snooze fests, and then racing where there's edge. You're on the edge of your seat, so it's kind of at a roll of the dice for Richmond Raceway. What's going to be your strategy for tonight, Matt?
Just survive to the end.
That's a good answer right there.
I have very low expectations. I just want to finish, hopefully in one piece. The wall can reach out and bite you there real quick, and I'm trying not to get in anyone else's way.
Sometimes the best races that drivers have are where they had low expectations, so we'll see how tonight's race will go for you, Matt. Good luck in qualifying.
Thanks, man.
And looks like practice is wrapping up. We are getting set now for qualifying. Let's take a look to see who is going to be some of the fastest. We know Jason Warren, Eddie Smith, Daniel Cunningham, all fastest in practice. Let's see how they do here. There we go. We are officially getting ready for our 5-minute qualifying, and we are already getting some cars on the track there. We got Daniel Cunningham sitting in the pits. He is exiting the pits. Your second place driver in practice, Eddie Smith, exiting the pits. He's definitely going to be one here to watch. And Eddie's really just been a driver who's been one to watch all season long. He's got 3 wins this season and an average finish of 7th. Definitely a top 10 car, top 5 car every single week. Definitely got to watch out for that 87 machine. Heading to turn 1 for his first lap, getting all the way down on that bottom. Eddie Smith definitely looks like he has this track figured out, looking very, very fast. Here we see Daniel Cunningham heading on to the back stretch in that Banfield Pet Hospital machine. Looks like he's trying to build up speed for his second lap. And there we go, Eddie Smith to the top of the board with a 22.58. Second on the board is Daniel Cunningham with a 22.96. We see Jamie Barkis to the top of the board with a 22.38. He's about 0.2 faster than Eddie Smith. We see Jesse Nekula able to hop to second with a 22.56, but still about 0.2 off of Jamie Barkis. It looks like Eddie Smith was a little bit slow on his second lap. So Eddie Smith, despite having some great practice laps, not doing too well in qualifying. Let's see if he can improve in the feature. There's Michael Kostick on track. Kostick has had a great season all season long in that number 04 machine. Oh, looks like Jake Cunningham spun off of turn number 4. Having a little bit of difficulty in qualifying. See Jesse Nekula slowing down. He's able to get the 4th. Michael Kostick slowing down. He got to 3rd. Got Brandon Wallace on track right now. Believe that was his second lap. I believe it stayed the same at a 22.76.
That man, it is greasy out there.
Is it? Does it feel like somebody spilled oil all over the track?
Yes, it does. During practice, it took about 5 to 7 laps for the tires kind of settle in.
Ooh, so he looks like Jonah Colbert, the Xfinity commissioner, said this race should transition from night to daylight. A little challenge with track conditions. That should be fun. How do you feel about that, Matt Knights?
Yeah, it wasn't challenging enough. Let's make it a little more difficult.
This should be a barn burner.
No, I'll tell you, there's some really talented guys in this league. You know, one of the things that make me keep coming back, try to get in their tire tracks and try to follow them around, see if I can get better myself.
Yeah, I feel like this league is so tightly knit. All the drivers have respect for each other. And these drivers now in this league have been racing each other for many weeks now. Let's see, I'm looking to see what week we are on. This is the...
Well, this is also the second season of this, too. So a lot of these guys have been competing against each other now for at least a year, if not more.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like everybody's kind of studied each other throughout this time, just trying to see what are drivers' tendencies. Look back in here in qualifying. We got Jason Warren, Chuck Phelps on track right now. Warren able to get to 6th. We're seeing a lot of drivers who are fast in practice not doing quite as good here in qualifying. I don't know if situations have changed with the track, but that's looking to be the case here in qualifying. There we go. Jason Warren showing his practice self, able to get to the top of the board with a 22.31, 700ths faster than Jamie Barkis. Great lap time for the 32 of Jason Warren. We know Jason Warren good at these short tracks. He won one of the championships of the Thunderstruck Super Late Model Series. Very, very good at these short tracks, looks like. Jonah Colbert says we are on week 12 of season 3. Yeah, so these drivers have gotten plenty of time to get acclimated with each other, and that's going to make for some really nice, clean racing for sure. So I believe everybody who is going to turn a qualifying lap has. We've got 21 cars in the session here tonight. So this should be a fun one. And there we go. We are now going to be gridding for your 175 lap event. And let's take a look here at your starting lineup. So looks like we're going to have Jason Warren starting on the pole. In the second place spot, it's Jamie Barkis in the Gill Insurance Advisors number 15. In that third spot, we have Daniel Cunningham. Fourth will be Michael Kostick, and then rounding out your top 5, it's Jesse Nekula. In that sixth place spot, we got Mr. Eddie Smith. Seventh will be Chuck Phelps. P8, it's Charles Stevens Jr. 9th will be Jason Loutridge. And then rounding out your top 10, we have Brandon Wallace. In 11th, we have our in-race reporter, Matt Knights. 12th will be Jake Cunningham. 13th is Stephen McDonald. 14th will be Jamie Mullins. And then rounding out your top 15, it's William Griffith. In 16th, we have that 27 machine of Jake Ellingson. 17th will be Kai Shappert. 18th is Josh Oswald. 19th will be Greg Barnett. And then 20th and 21st is Jonah Colbert and Ray Page. So these Xfinity cars are on the grid. We are getting ready to start our pace laps. How you feeling for the start, Matt?
A little concerned that I went and qualified, because now I'm stuck right in the middle of this mess.
Hey, I mean, you got a good starting position. Sometimes starting in the middle of the mess can be a good thing. The eye of the storm is always the calmest, so the middle of the pack might be the calmest for you. Looks like I'm having trouble with SDK. It's stuck with...
Let's hope so.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. This should be an interesting one. Again, you never know with these drivers, and it looks like we are having some technical difficulties. My SDK just stopped working, so I'm gonna switch to a separate screen while I get it fixed, and then we should be ready for the racing action. Good. Let me just get it back up and running. And it is not. Those of you who don't know, I not only call the race, but I also have to produce these broadcasts as well, messing with the graphics and stuff, so I'm simultaneously doing that. So there's a hiccup with the graphics. I kind of have to stop calling the race to get it fixed. There we go. We were able to get it back, and just as the green flag dropped, let me transition back to the race here. Sorry about that, folks. Just had some technical difficulties, but here's a look at the green flag racing right now. We have a battle for the lead between Jason Warren and Daniel Cunningham. We see Daniel Cunningham trying to take a look down low off of turn number 4, trying to set up that pass on the 32 machine. See Michael Kostick trying to, he looks like he's getting passed by Eddie Smith right now for that 5th spot. Smith with the nose here on the back stretch, and he is clear. Eddie Smith up to that 5th spot now. Take a look back here to the lead. The battle for first between Daniel Cunningham and Jason Warren. Looks like Jason Warren just ran the fastest lap time of the race with a 22.43. So Jason Warren looking very, very fast right now. Looks like Chuck Feltz looking to try to get up into the top 6. Taking a look down low under Michael Kostick. He is able to get clear and up to 6th now. So Chuck Feltz now trying to set his sights on Eddie Smith to try to get into the top 5. I don't know what happened to Kostick so far. He's the biggest faller. Started in that 4th spot, and he's just lost position after position here on the start. Hopefully he can just regroup and try to get back up there. Definitely unfortunate for that number 04 machine. Look back up to the battle for first here between Cunningham and Warren. Looks like Warren is starting to extend that gap for the lead a little bit over Daniel Cunningham. Jesse Nekula trying to reel in Jamie Barkas for that 3rd spot. You see Necula in that purple and black Taco Bell car, just trying to set up that pass right now, scouting out the scene, or just trying to see the tendencies of that number 15 machine. He might be washing up off of the corner or something, just trying to determine how he's going to make that pass. Right now, field pretty spread out at the moment. A little bit of single file action, but we do see Daniel Cunningham trying to take it down to the bottom under Jason Warren. Let's see what he can do here. Here's a look at the cockpit cam from that number 54 machine. We're a little bit lower, about a car length lower in the corners than where Warren's at, but it doesn't seem to be helping him get too much of a run. We will see what Cunningham tries to do here. We do have Barkus reeling in Daniel Cunningham now for that second spot. Let's see what that 15 can do. I do notice that a lot of the top 5 drivers are not, a few of them are not in the session tonight. I know Cody McElwain is not racing. I believe Patrick Dropic is not racing. I know we are coming up to the Christmas holiday, so a lot of the drivers who normally race in this one have plans for going to gatherings for Christmas. Do see Jamie Barkus maybe looking to try to take it to the high side above Daniel Cunningham. So far, from what I've seen, it's looking like it's very hard to pass here at Richmond. There we go. We see Barkus taking a look down low under that 54 of Daniel Cunningham. Barkus with the nose as we get off of turn number 4. Side by side on the front stretch. See Barkus getting a big run on entry 1, and he is able to get clear and up to that second spot now. Jamie now setting his sights on your first place driver, Jason Warren. And already we see Barkus trying to take it down, look down low to get to the rear quarter panel on that 32 machine. He's coming. There we go, getting a big run there on the bottom, side by side on the backstretch. Barkus getting a good run and clear. Jamie Barkus is now up to that first spot. He is your second leader of the race. We also see Daniel Cunningham trying to take a look down low under Jason Warren. They're side by side here in 1 and 2. Neither driver wanting to give each other an inch. We do see Cunningham with the nose heading off of turn number 4. We see Warren comes back on the outside. Cunningham is going to fall in line behind Jason Warren. And we also see another driver joining the party for this battle for the top 3. Eddie Smith in that 87 is catching up to your top 3 of Jamie Barkus, Jason Warren, Daniel Cunningham. See what he can do to maybe try to make a pass. Got Cunningham getting very close to the rear quarter panel on that 32 machine. He's gotten right there. Getting a good run off of turn number 2. But we see once again that 32 of Jason Warren able to shut the door. Here's a current look at that cockpit cam from the 54's perspective. Is he trying to get another big run here into the corner? And we, once again, are side by side. We see the 54 able to get to the rear quarter panel to the door of that 32 machine. We see Daniel Cunningham under a lot of pressure right now, not only trying to pass that 32 of Jason Warren, he's also trying to hold off Eddie Smith. And then we see Smith taking a look down low here in turns 1 and 2. He is able to get up into the top 3 now after starting in that 6th place spot, gaining 3 positions since the green flag dropped. Shout out to Mr. Eddie Smith. And we see now Eddie Smith has reeled in Jason Warren for 2nd. Jamie Barkus right now is on a whole nother level compared to everybody else. He's ran away from the rest of the field. And there we go. We see Eddie Smith taking a look down low under Warren here off of turn number 2. They are side by side heading into 3 and 4. Ooh, almost clear off the back stretch. And there we go. Able to get clear. Eddie Smith now up to that 2nd spot. And we see now Jason Warren running in that 3rd spot. Looking to maybe try to... Daniel Cunningham looking to try to maybe make it by Jason Warren once again. These two battled it out for a little bit earlier on in this race. Cunningham getting really close to the rear quarter panel of that 32 machine. We also see Jesse Nekula catching up to this battle for 3rd as well. Tight battles right now for the 3rd spot between Jason Warren and Daniel Cunningham. Again, here's a look at the cockpit cam from the perspective of that 34. Getting right up to the rear quarter panel, but can't get any further. There we go, getting a big run there in turns 1 and 2. Side by side with Smith as we head off of turn number 2. But we see Jason Warren able to get back clear. Now Jesse Nekula has gotten right up to the back bumper of Daniel Cunningham. Cunningham right now to the rear quarter panel of Jason Warren. We have officially gotten to lap 25 so far. It has been a pretty clean race here at Richmond Raceway. Here's a look at your current top 5. See Jamie Barkus running in that 1st spot. In 2nd, we have Eddie Smith. In 3rd, it's Jason Warren. That 4th place spot belongs to Daniel Cunningham. And right now, rounding out your top 5, it's Jesse Nekula. Now remember, it's supposed to switch from nighttime today. It's still looking pretty dark in the sky. We should be coming to morning pretty soon. I do not know when that will be. But right now, Jamie Barkus running away from the rest of the field. He's on a whole nother level right now. Definitely one of the favorites to win tonight's event. We continue to look now at this battle for 3rd. Jesse Nekula able to make it by Daniel Cunningham, and now looking to try to get by Jason Warren for 3rd. Nekula taking a look down low here in 3 and 4. Side by side. And they are side by side on the front stretch. And there we got Nekula with the nose heading off of turn number 2. And he is able to get clear. Jesse Nekula now up to that 3rd spot. Side by side for 4th between Daniel Cunningham and Jason Warren. and he is able to get clear. Oh, looks like Warren giving the back bumper of Daniel Cunningham a little tap. Looks like Michael Kostick coming back into the top 5. Able to get by Jason Warren, now taking a look down low under Daniel Cunningham for that 4th spot. We see Michael Kostick with the nose heading off of turn number 2. And thought he was going to be able to get clear, but we see Cunningham holding his own on that outside. Ooh. Getting a good run there. Oh! Looks like Daniel Cunningham has came back on the outside now. Neither driver giving one another an inch. And Richmond is definitely one of the short tracks on iRacing when there's 2 grooves. That high side can definitely run very, very well here. So they continue to stay side by side. Here's what it looks like from one of the perspectives of the driver. This was what it looks like from Michael Kostick's perspective right now, and looks like, unless I am mistaken, he's pretty much been able to get clear of that 54. He has Kostick able to get up to that 4th spot now. Daniel Cunningham, though, not letting him get away, making a little bit of a comeback on the front stretch. But there we see Kostick starting to pull away there through 1 and 2. We do see William Griffith has caught Jason Warren for that 6th spot now. See the Griftos are taking a look down low, getting a good run, and he is able to get clear up to that 6th spot now. There's a little crossover move from Jason Warren trying to look back low under William Griffith. Can't quite get there, though. And he's starting to extend his gap a little bit over the rest of the field. So right now, field pretty spread out. Next closest battle, we see Brandon Wallace starting to reel in Chuck Feltz for that 13th spot. See right now, Wallace able to get to about the rear quarter panel. Looks like we actually have a battle for the lead beginning to brew between Jamie Barkas and Eddie Smith. We see Eddie Smith taking it to the high side. They're side by side through turns 1 and 2. Smith getting a good run. Eddie with the nose. And he is able to get clear. Eddie Smith now up to 1st. So that's our 3rd leader of the night after seeing both Jason Warren and Jamie Barkas lead. I knew it was going to be eventually when Eddie Smith was going to take the lead. He was the 2nd fastest in practice behind Warren. After Warren fall off, I knew he was definitely the 2nd fastest car on the track. Let's see if he can keep this lead, though. Once again, the field just getting pretty spread out at the moment. Brandon Wallace still trying to take a look down low under Chuck Feltz for that 13th spot. They're side by side through 3 and 4. Chuck Feltz with a little bit of an advantage as we head into 1 and 2, but we see Brendan Wallace able to get a good run. Feltz fights back on the high side. So far, we've seen over 1 second of tire fall off on these drivers. Eddie Smith went from running 22.54s as his best lap time. So now he's currently running 23.72s. So yeah, that's over a second of tire fall off. These tires definitely losing a lot of tread. My question is, I wonder what the pit window is and when everybody is going to come in. Looks like Brandon Wallace officially able to get clear of Chuck Phelps for that 13th spot. We see Chuck with the little crossover mood heading off at turn number 2. They're side by side on the backstretch. We see Chuck able to get back clear. Take a look. Let's see. Let's take a look and check in on our in-race reporter, Matt Knights. Matt, how's the car feeling right now?
Pretty loose. Tough to turn.
Gotcha. Well, hopefully we'll see if the circumstances change here. Do you think you're going to maybe have to come in to take some tires soon?
I think it's going to come down to fuel before tires. I forget what percentage of tank we're taking here, but I think the pit window is about lap 48-ish.
Gotcha. Well, we're coming out on that now. There you have it. In-race reporter here tonight, the 64 of Matt Knights. Currently see a battle now for the 13th, 14th, and 15th spot between Chuck Phelps, Brandon Wallace, and Stephen McDonald. And wow, and look at this. We see some green flag pit stops. Jason Warren, your 10th place driver, the first of some of the leaders to come in. Jason, getting those fresh tires.
Just kidding, man. I got 10 gallons left, so fuel's not the issue.
Yeah, I was assuming it was going to be tires. So Jason Warren, the first to come in. That should give him a lot of track position to get ahead of Eddie Smith. Question is now, when is that 87 of Eddie Smith going to be coming in? He currently has a 1 second lead over Jamie Barkus, but Eddie Smith currently dancing with some lap traffic. Let's take a look at your current top 5 as we enter our pit window. Eddie Smith is in first. Jamie Barkus in second. Third is Jesse Nekula. Fourth is Michael Kostick. And then rounding out your top 5, it's Daniel Cunningham. So Jason Warren now currently sitting in that last place spot, looking to try to work his way back up and get that lap back. He has those fresh tires. Oh, and we see a car hard into the inside wall. And that's going to bring out a caution. That is going to be a game changer. And it's now time for the Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind. These cars have been itching to do these cows have been itching to do something. Now is their moment of spotlight. And they're going to be back to...
Man.
Go ahead, Matt.
Did that happen to be a car on new tires that just came out?
So, yeah, that was Jason Warren who exited the pits there. So it looks like this wreck, what happened, we see Stephen McDonald was side by side with Brandon Wallace here through 1 and 2. Whole field is coming in right now as we watch this replay. And he was running that white line. Oh, and then it's 3 wide between Phelps, him, and... Looks to me like we see Wallace washes up a little bit, clips McDonald. That is going to send him around. Let's take a peek at what's going on pit road at the moment. See who wins the race off. Whoever wins the race off will take the lead. And there we go. Eddie Smith is the first driver off of pit road. Then it's Jamie Barkus. Looks like Chuck Phelps will stay out in a gamble. Looks like Eddie Smith was able to make it out before him, so he'll be sitting in the second spot. Jamie Barkus third, Jesse Nekula fourth, William Griffith the fifth. And we still see Jason Warren stuck a lap down. He should get his lap back. So he's going to have older tires compared to everybody else right now. I mean, he's not too much older tires. But this caution really hurt that number 32 machine. The rest of the lap cars in right now. Chuck Phelps, Jason Lottridge, Brandon Wallace. All in right now. And while we are under this little break, we do want to take this time to give a shout out to the sponsor of the series. This is the Goat Locker Xfinity Series. You can see it in the title. And Goat Locker Racing has been a supporter of the original Rebels Racing League for a long time. Goat Locker Racing is an organization that gives back to the veteran community. They are like-minded individuals that understand that to support veterans, they have to build a community. Their community will be based on camaraderie and the love of racing. They will sponsor veteran racers both in sim racing and real life through their sponsors and partnerships, because when they end up victory lane, so do their brother and sisters. The company was founded by Jamie Barkis and Patrick Drawbeck, dating back to 1996. And so if you want some more information on Goat Locker Racing, then definitely go ahead and check out their website at goatlockerracing.com. You can see some of their Twitch highlights, their sponsors, some of the drivers. So go check them out. Go support the sponsor of the league. So we're getting ready to go back green here. Eddie Smith restarting on the bottom. Jamie Barkis restarting on the top. This should be a fun one. We've re-racked them, restacked them. And pace car is in. Green flag is back out, and there we see Eddie Smith taking off. He is able to get clear of Jamie Barkis. And heading into turns 1 and 2, looks like Eddie Smith was able to extend that gap. Michael Kostick getting passed by Jesse Nekula for that third spot. Nekula getting a good run, and he is able to get clear now and up to that third spot. So Michael Kostick now trying to reel in Jesse Nekula for that third spot. After getting passed. See William Griffith right now sitting on the back bumper of Daniel Cunningham for that fifth spot, trying to set up a pass. Looks like he washes up a little bit off of turn number 4. That's going to allow Josh Oswald to maybe get under him. Your leader, Eddie Smith, just ran his fastest lap time of the race. And that was a good lap time, 22.51, one of the fastest of the session. And he's currently got a 1-second lead over Jamie Barkis. Eddie Smith definitely looking like the favorite to win tonight's event. William Griffith right now getting passed by Josh Oswald for 6th. And there we see Oswald finally able to get clear and up to that 6th spot now. Josh Oswald, your biggest move of the race, has gained 12 spots since the green flag dropped after starting in that 18th spot. And looking to maybe try to get more as he's reeling in Daniel Cunningham for 5th. You see Jesse Nekula reeling in Jamie Barkis for that 2nd spot. We'll see if this battle develops. Charles Stevens Jr. now trying to catch up to William Griffith for that 7th spot. Hi, Chef.
Wreck turn 3.
Oh, wreck in turn 3. Thank you for telling us, Matt. That's going to bring out a caution. Did you see exactly what happened there, Matt?
Someone got loose. I'm not sure. They just kind of lost the rear end going in there.
We'll have to check out what happened here with the Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage replay. Here's a look. So right now we're watching Stephen McDonald. He had 48 of Jason Lottridge in front of him, Jake Ellingson behind him. And then looks like this is going to happen in 3 and 4. We see Ellingson, and that's also Jason Warren. Both of them getting a good run. And, ooh. So it looks like somebody did not get loose. That was some contact. We see Ellingson might have pushed up a little bit thinking he was clear of McDonald. That's going to send McDonald around. And right in the middle of the track, see Brandon Wallace getting some damage. Chuck Feltz getting a little bit of damage. Going straight onto pit road. Looks like you were barely able to avoid it there, Matt. Had to go up there to the high side. So we are back under caution. I don't think anybody is going to be pulling in. But here's a look at your current top 5. We see Eddie Smith in that first spot. Jamie Barkas in second. Jesse Nekula in third. Michael Kostick in fourth. And then rounding out your top 5 is Daniel Cunningham. We had a 50-plus green flag run, and then now we've seen 2 cautions within 10 laps of each other. I think we're really seeing the phrase cautions breed cautions come true tonight. And we'll see what continues to happen. I'm going to take a quick break here while we're under caution. We will be back with the racing action. Here we go, back to green flag. Do want to give a shout out to Elite Performance Industries. They've been helping. They've sponsored some of our broadcasts, and you can see their commercial on most of the broadcasts. So shout out to them. They're definitely the place to go if you're in need of some setups. And I just noticed this. It's currently, the sun is rising at the moment. What a beautiful sunrise. I'm like, it's not dark anymore. When I came back from the commercial break, the sun must have just risen. That's beautiful, but I think it might be a little bit bright. Ow. So we'll see how this changes, going from no sun at all to sun beating on the track. This should be interesting. So we're getting ready to go back green. Eddie Smith restarting on the bottom. Jamie Barkas restarting on the top. This should be a good restart here. And we've been really ticking off laps here. We're almost to 100 laps to go in this event. It's been a good race so far. Green flag is back out there. We see Eddie Smith taking off, able to get clear of Jamie Barkas side by side for third between Jesse Nekula and Daniel Cunningham. We see Nekula with the nose as we head off of turn number 2. Nekula's got Josh Oswald behind him, giving him a little bit of motivation, I guess, to get by Daniel Cunningham, and he is able to get clear Nekula up to that third spot. So we are side by side for fourth between Daniel Cunningham, Josh Oswald. Heading into turns 1 and 2, we see Oswald able to get a big run and is now clear. There we go. That was a good pass by Josh Oswald. He's going to be setting his sights now on Jesse Nekula, trying to take that third spot. But Daniel Cunningham not letting Josh Oswald get away, staying right on his back bumper. So good run there for Josh Oswald, able to get up to fourth. And still, Josh Oswald, he is your biggest mover of the race, gaining 14 spots since the green flag drop. So that's pretty impressive, especially for a track like Michigan, where it's a little bit difficult to pass. Caustic reeling in Daniel Cunningham for that 5th spot. See what he can do here. Coming to lap number 75. Looks like Daniel Cunningham extending his gap a little bit over Michael Caustic. See if he can get, there we go. He's able to get a little bit farther away. Charles Stevens Jr. taking a look down low under William Griffith for that 7th spot. He's able to get to the rear quarter panel. He's right there, side by side. We see Charles Stevens Jr. with the nose as we head off of the corner. Able to get clear now. Charles up to that 7th spot. But I do not think we've seen the end of William Griffith. Griffith trying to take a look back high. Or to look down low under that number 04 machine. Or excuse me, the number 88. Charles Stevens Jr. is trying to catch the 04 of Michael Caustic, who's running that 6th spot right now. So right now, the field getting pretty spread out. Here's a look at your current top 5. See Eddie Smith is in 1st. Jamie Barkis in that 2nd spot. In 3rd, we see Jesse Necula. 4th is Josh Oswald. And then rounding at your top 5 right now, it's Daniel Cunningham. Do want to shout out our biggest movers and fallers of the race. Our biggest mover, gaining 14 spots since the green flag dropped, is Josh Oswald in that 17 machine currently running in 4th. He started in that 18th spot, and he's just been able to avoid some of the wrecks, made some smart passes, has been really smooth, and he's gotten up to that 4th spot now, looking to maybe try to get 3rd from Jesse Necula. So shout out to Josh Oswald. But our biggest faller and definitely our biggest tough break was Jason Warren. Warren was definitely leading the first part of this race, and he did kind of fall behind, was still running in the top 10, and then as soon as he made his green flag pit stop, he was getting ready to start the green flag pit stop cycle for everybody. We saw the caution flag come out, and that trapped him a lap down, so that was very, very unfortunate for Jason Warren, who started this race on the pole, but has fallen to 13th now. He is the first car down a lap, though, so hopefully another caution flag will come out so he can get his lap back. He is currently racing Charles Stevens Jr., who would be in that 7th place spot, so he would technically be in 6th if he was on the lead lap. Cunningham reeling in Josh Oswald for that 4th spot. See how this battle goes, and then Caustic currently running behind Daniel Cunningham. Tight battle. And then we see Oswald trying to reel in Jesse Necula for that 3rd spot. Right now we see Cunningham currently under a lot of pressure because not only is he trying to pass Oswald, but he's also trying to hold off Michael Caustic. So not only is Daniel Cunningham sweating looking in front of him, but he's also sweating looking in that rearview mirror. We should be coming around the 2nd fuel window. Oh no, I was wrong. I thought it had been. So still got a little bit to go. There's a look at the current stint length. We'll see what happens here with the pit stops. So right now we see Daniel Cunningham trying to get under Josh Oswald. Was able to get to that rear quarter panel of that 17 machine. See what he can do. Cunningham just looking high, looking low. Here's a look at the cockpit cam from that number 54 machine. Currently staring at the nickname of the driver in front of him, Josh the Jet Oswald. You've heard of definitely one of the most iconic nicknames in racing. You've heard of the King, you've heard of the Intimidator, but there's also Josh the Jet Oswald. And when he steps onto the track, whether it's in a super late model or a modified or one of these Xfinity cars, you can always expect Josh Oswald to be running faster than a jet. So we see currently running that 4th place spot. No, Josh Oswald definitely loves the short track type tracks. He won last season's Thunderstruck Super Late Model Championship last season. That's another one of the leagues that we broadcast. And I know that he loves these short tracks. I know it's his favorite thing. He's good at the 1.5 miles and some of the intermediate tracks as well, but I feel like Josh is the best at short tracks. And we're definitely seeing that here tonight at Richmond. Looks like the sun has finally gotten above the clouds. It's beginning to look a lot like day now. Still a little bit dark over here in 3 and 4. For those of you who have just now tuned in, early on in this race, it was nighttime, but then the sun rose. So it's really changed things up. We went from having a little bit of a cooler track with that sun being down to the sun coming up and heating up the track, and it's just going to continue to heat up more and more and more as this race goes on. Looks like Josh Oswald catching Jesse Necula now, and looks like your leaders, Eddie Smith, is coming up on some lap traffic. We'll see if some more lap traffic comes. Let me take a look here. Looks like I don't see any lap traffic in sight. Looks like the next cars that Smith will catch will be Stephen McDonald. He just made it by Jake Cunningham. You want to take a look, Michael Kostick trying to reel in Daniel Cunningham for that 5th spot. See what he can do here through 3 and 4. Right now just trying to set up the pass, watching to see what Cunningham is doing. And I think right now, with a little bit of the break of the action, a little bit over halfway, let's turn up the volume, do a little bit of pump up the intensity, get to hear the sounds and sights of the racetrack. So here we go. We are back live here with the racing action at Richmond Raceway after a little bit of pump up the intensity action. Hopefully you enjoyed us turning up the volume and getting to hear the sounds and sights of the racetrack. Currently checking back in with your leader, Eddie Smith, currently with a 1.3 second lead over second place, Jamie Barkus. We are coming up on lap 100. Checked in over the break while we were doing pump up the intensity with our in-race reporter, Matt Knights. He said the tires are currently shot and the leaders should be looking to maybe try to come in at around lap 120, which will be 20 laps from now. So that's going to mean, if that's the case, that there will be over 66 laps on the tires. So those tires are going to be destroyed by the time these leaders come in. So we'll see what happens here. We currently have a battle for that fifth spot between Daniel Cunningham and Michael Kostick. We see Kostick staying on that back bumper, the 54. And I think he was sticking behind Cunningham when we went to do pump up the intensity. So looks like he's been very, very patient sticking behind Daniel Cunningham. Definitely respect that as a 0-4 because he knows it's over halfway, but we're still not in the part of the race where you're going to be taking some bold moves, taking some big chances. So I think you're still just kind of hanging back a little bit and just letting just trying to save tires as well. These drivers currently in tire saving mode, so they can have as fresh of tires as possible when we get to our window. And we'll see what happens with that. Here's a look at your current top five. See Eddie Smith running in that first position. Jamie Barkus is in second. Third is Jesse Nekula. Fourth is Josh Oswald. And then currently rounding at your top five is Daniel Cunningham. I don't know how long that's going to last as Michael Kostick staying on that back bumper of that 54 machine. Here's a look at the cockpit cam from that number 04 machine right now. Michael Kostick oh, there we go. We see Michael Kostick taking a look down low here in turns 1 and 2 under Daniel Cunningham, able to get clear, and Michael Kostick now up into the top 5 to 5th. Big move for that 04, and it pays off. So right now the field pretty spread out over a 3/10 gap between everybody in the field right now. So I think we're kind of in the point where everybody's starting to discuss with their teammates to when they're going to come in. I know we have a lot of voice chats with a lot of teammates with each other. I know the BDE racing drivers are talking to each other. Big Fish Motorsports drivers are talking to each other. Goat Locker racing drivers are probably talking with each other. JC Motorsports drivers talking with each other. All the teams are talking with each other, discussing, when's going to be the right time to come in. And we'll see when that is going to be. Last time we had green flag pit stops, they went 52 laps. We're currently 1 lap past that, so I think we're going to go a little bit longer. We've already seen over 1 second of tire fall off for your leader, Eddie Smith, and a lot more for many others. We've seen for Chuck Feltz over 2 seconds of tire fall off. So it's getting rough for a lot of these drivers. Hard to hang on to it. We see Michael Wombold says, great stream as usual. Thank you for the compliment, Michael. Appreciate you tuning in. I know you're normally on the other side of the screen as the driver, so cool to see you're coming in to watch the broadcast. I just yesterday learned how to pronounce his name right, and that happens with a lot of announcers. I can definitely relate with some of my fellow announcers. Names can definitely be hard, but We've thought about maybe doing a donation link. The only way that you can really donate to us right now is if you go to Facebook. You can donate stars, but potentially in the wintertime with some of the free time, I think we could maybe definitely set up a PayPal on Twitch and YouTube to use. That would definitely be in consideration for sure. Thank you for definitely recommending us getting maybe a PayPal. I know a lot of the other big iRacing streamers have, you know, places to donate. But really the only place you can donate right now is if you go to our Facebook page. You can see you can donate stars. I think you can do it in, like, you can do a custom amount or in like 100 star increments. And I mean, donations are definitely not required, but they are appreciated. My name on Discord. You can, I'm in the Thunderstruck Discord under broadcasters. You'll find me. Atlee W Racing is the name on the Discord. Michael. I see your message, Michael. I'll get back to you with that after the broadcast. You definitely don't have to do that, man, but well, I appreciate that. Do you actually see a battle for the lead beginning, or battle for second beginning to brew between Jamie Barkas and Jesse Nekula? Nekula able to get to the rear quarter panel in that 15 machine. Looks like Michael Kostick taking a look down low under Josh Oswald for that 5th spot. I do think we are coming up on the pit window. That's awesome, Michael. I know. Definitely the crypto business is blowing up right now. Dogecoin, Bitcoin, Shiba, or Sheeb. Looks like we're getting some green flag pit stops starting. Eddie Smith, Jesse Nekula both coming in. So this should start the cycle. And there we go. Your leader, Jamie Barkas, coming in. Daniel Cunningham coming in. So this looks like gives the lead now to Michael Kostick. He will take the lead. And there we see Michael Kostick making that descent onto pit road. So this will give the lead now to Josh Oswald. I know Josh Oswald, he's used to running 125 laps with no extra tire sets in the Thunderstruck League. So he's used to having these tore up tires. Let's see, he's got 67 laps on those tires. That's chump change for him. But I know the Xfinity cars probably tear up those tires a little bit more. Only 3 cars left to pit. Josh Oswald, William Griffith, and Jason Lottridge. Jason Lottridge has just gone a lap down, so there's really only 2 cars left to pit. Oswald and Griffith. The question is, how long are they willing to stay out? So right now, let's see, Josh Oswald currently, we've seen about 1 second tire fall off for him. Have you came in yet, Matt?
Yeah, I just came out.
Got you. I bet those fresh tires are like a breath of fresh air for you.
Well, first couple laps, they're a little greasy, but you definitely tell the difference.
Oh, I'm sure you can. Still, Josh Oswald continuing to stay out. Question is, when will he come in? Do you see Eddie Smith has been able to get his lap back? That should be kind of be like a sign for Josh Oswald to come in. He's got a bunch of drivers trapped down a lap. If he comes in, he still be able to salvage a top 5. He's continuing to stay out. Being first makes Josh Oswald biggest move of the race. He's gained 17 spots since the green flag dropped after starting in 18th. 17 spots gained, number 17. Looks like Jamie Bark is taking a look down low under Josh Oswald. He is getting his lap back now. So now there's 4 cars in the lead lap. Josh Oswald continuing to stay out. And William Griffith still has not came in either. There we go. Nekula getting his lap back now. Man, just continuing to stay out for Josh Oswald. When is he going to come in? Let's take a look at his length right now. He stayed out for 76 laps. Again, normally in the Thunderstruck Super Late Model Series, he stays out for 125 laps. No pit stops for tires in that Super Late Model Series, so he's definitely used to staying out for long periods of time. He's almost at 2 seconds of tire fall off, though. More drivers are starting to track him down to get their laps back. We see a couple drivers getting their laps back there. Greg Barnett, Michael Kostick both getting their laps back. Here comes Daniel Cunningham getting his lap back. And Josh Oswald, he's just still chilling. So right now, 7 cars have gotten back out into the lead lap, yet Josh Oswald, he still stays out. We'll see what happens here. Got 40 laps left here in this event. Here's a look at your current top 5. We got Josh Oswald in first. He still needs to come into the pits. William Griffith in second. He also still needs to come into the pits. We see Eddie Smith is running in that third spot. Fourth is Jamie Barkis. And then rounding out your top 5 currently, it is Mr. Jesse Nekula. Man, this is just, Josh Oswald is absolutely blowing me away. I mean, 85 laps now that he has stayed out. I mean, that's absolutely incredible in these Xfinity cars. And I haven't even seen 2 seconds of tire fall off yet for him. That just shows how much, you know, running in the super late model series has helped them save those tires. It's awesome to watch. And when he comes in as well, he will have the freshest tires out of the whole field. That could be a huge advantage for him. This strategy that Josh Oswald is doing, this could get him the win. I love it. Instead, as long as he possibly can, come in, have the freshest tires, and then fly back up to the field while all these other drivers have old tires, you're going to win the race, probably, if you play your cards right. So definitely like what Josh Oswald is doing. I know he's probably also talking the strategy over with William Griffith, who is doing the exact same thing as Oswald. Both of them have stayed out this whole time. Both of them are in the same voice chat, just chatting it over. I do feel the fans in the stands right now, they've been here forever. They came here late at night, and then now they've stayed here for sunrise. These fans are true race fans, sticking it out. Here when it was dark, still here now that it's morning. And right now, the track temperature, I bet, was probably in the 70s. Low 70s. It's risen to 76, and it should continue to rise as the sun continues to beat on the track. Uh-oh, look at this. Eddie Smith was able to make it by William Griffith. So now Josh Oswald is in a little bit of danger right now. The fastest guy on the track has just got up to second, and he's got fresher tires than Josh. We'll see what happens. Will Josh Oswald come in now that Eddie's up to second? We'll see. Take a look now at where the pit strategy is up to. Josh Oswald now almost up to 100 laps on his tires. That is absolutely incredible. Once again, I do think, though, running in the Thunderstruck Super Late Model Series probably is helping him. I don't think he's going to come in, to be honest with you. And if he does, it's going to be right about now. Nope, just continuing to stay out. We're coming to 25 laps to go. Josh Oswald still has not came in yet. Question is, will he ever? I mean, you'd think probably, because if you came in, you'd have the freshest tires out of everybody. It's no use staying out there on those old tires when you got a fast car and you can have the fresher tires than everybody else. I mean, if he gets those fresh tires, he'll be running a tenth faster than the rest of the field. He'll fly up to the field very fast if he stays on the lead lap. And he'll get back up to the lead where he is. But I think Josh Oswald may know something that I don't about this strategy here. Here we go. We got Matt Knights making some passes, able to get by Jason Warren. One of the former leaders of this race. Shout out to the 64 of Matt Knights. Once again, we do have a little bit of a break in the action. We do once again want to thank Goat Locker Racing for all their support of the Original Rebels Racing League. Goat Locker Racing was founded by two retired Navy Chiefs, Jamie Barkus and Pat Drobick, dating back to 1996 while stationed together. We see Pat introduce Jamie to the world of sim racing via the original NASCAR Racing Series by Papyrus. And 25 years later, they still compete together in multiple leagues on iRacing. And Goat Locker Racing is the premier racing organization for veterans by veterans. So if you are maybe a veteran or want to get into iRacing with a group of fellow veterans, then definitely consider checking out Goat Locker Racing. They have their own website, goatlockerracing.com, and you can get information on everything, including their sponsors. Some of their sponsors include Tracks for Vets, Travis Lee Creative, Jam Printing and Promotions, Chuck the Trailer Guy, and more. So if you're interested in that stuff, go check out their website, goatlockerracing.com. Look at this. We see Josh Oswald getting past Eddie Smith, taking a look to the outside of that 17 machine. And he is able to get clear and up to first now ahead of Josh Oswald. See if Josh Oswald can get back up there. He can't. Jesse Nekula reeling in Jamie Barkus for that third spot. Let's see if something happens between these two. There we go. We see William Griffith finally, after staying out for 100 plus laps, I think. Yeah, 105 laps. He is finally coming in now. Question is, will Josh Oswald ever come in? Let's see what tires he's on right now. Josh Oswald's on 107 lap tires. That's crazy. It's been incredible to watch just how long he's been able to hang on these older tires. See, Jesse Nekula once again has reeled in Jamie Barkis for that third spot. See if he can make a pass here. See Nekula getting a big run off of turn number 4 there, looking to try to set up a pass. See what Nekula can do. He's taking a look down low off of turn number 2. Get a little bit squirrely up top for Jamie Barkis. There we go. We see Jesse Nekula able to get clear and up to that third spot now. We also see Michael Kostick joining this party as well. Kostick getting a big run on Barkis. Field's still getting pretty spread out right now. Everybody just chilling out here with these last couple of laps. The closest battles right now definitely for that 4th spot between Michael Kostick and Jamie Barkis. Where we'll see if we can see if Michael Kostick makes a move here. Here we see Kostick getting the big run there in turns 1 and 2, getting right up there to Barkis. We're now officially 10 laps to go for Eddie Smith. There we go, 9 more laps for that 87 car to get the win. Can he do it? After dominating most of this race. There we see another big run from Michael Kostick, who was trying to get up there to Jamie Barkis for that 4th spot. And oh, this is interesting. Got a caution flag coming out. Car spinning on the backstretch. That's William Griffith. Let's take a look at what happened here with the Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind. Right, here's a look at what happened. See William Griffith take a look down low under Brandon Wallace here in turns 1 and 2. And heading off at turn number 2. Looks like Wallace gets loose coming off the corner, and then Griffith gets loose coming off the corner. They both kind of meet in the middle, and that mainly sends Griffith around into the inside wall. Ooh, right there, tearing up that rear end. That's unfortunate for Griffith, but we see most of the field right now coming in. So we'll watch these pit stops and see who wins the race off. Here we see Eddie Smith as the first driver off, so he will take back the lead. Then in second place, it's Charles Stevens Jr. Third is Jamie Barkus. Fourth, Jesse Nekula. And then Josh Oswald was able to stay in fifth. And there we go. We got the rest of the drivers coming in. Jason Lotridge, Jason Warren, Chuck Feltz, Matt Knights. So we're going to be coming into, I believe, a green-white checkered. Let's go ahead and check in with our in-race reporter, Matt Knights. Matt, you excited for this green-white checker? What do you think about, what's your plan here for this one?
Get my tires, get off pit road without speeding.
It's a good plan right there. There you go. There you have it, Matt Knights, our in-race reporter. Looking to try to get off pit road without speeding. Those fresh tires can definitely help here, as we saw with a lot of your leaders, Eddie Smith and Jamie Barkus, who were two of the first drivers to come in. They flew back up to the field like a rocket, so now everybody will have equal tires, so tires won't only play a factor. It's going to be all about driver ability here on this next restart. And here's a look at your current top five coming here to this green-white checkered. We got Eddie Smith running in first. Jamie Barkus in second. Jesse Nekula running in that third spot. Josh Oswald in fourth. And then rounding out your top five right now, we currently have Michael Kostick.
Man, keep your eye here up at the front on who chooses the inside versus outside.
I do know that there is a choose role in this league. What do you think is going to be the more preferred one, Matt?
Inside.
Inside. All right, gotcha. We will see what happens here. Who's going to choose the inside? Who's going to choose the outside? Looks like, yeah, like you said, Matt, leader Eddie Smith is going to choose that inside. Jamie Barkus starting on the outside. This should be a good finish here. A green-white checkered. The most exciting part of racing, in my opinion. Pace car is in. Green flag is out, and there we see Eddie Smith taking off. He is able to get clear of Jamie Barkus, but Barkus not letting Eddie get away. We do see side-by-side for third, Jesse Nekula taking a look down low under Josh Oswald. Oswald holding his own on that outside. Oh, and they wreck! Contact! Nekula in the inside wall. That's a huge wreck! Lots of fast cars getting involved in that incident. We're going to have to digest this incident on the Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind. Oh my gosh. That was wild. That was some tight battling for the lead there, if I do say so. Let's take a look at what happened here.
This is it, Atman. Only 2 attempts.
So this is the last one right here?
That's right.
Alright. Well, this should be interesting. So, looks like they were side-by-side coming off of number 2 between Oswald and Nekula. And looks like we see Oswald's car gets a little bit, just gets loose off of turn number 2 and comes down into Nekula. Not really anything intentional, just a little bit of a racing incident, somebody getting loose off, and then Nekula slams into the inside wall, and then it throws him back onto the track into Michael, oh my gosh, into Michael Kostick. And this just creates this huge domino effect. Were you able to make it through it, Matt?
Yeah, I was plenty far enough back to slam on the brakes early.
Got you. Well, that was a nasty lick to the inside fence there for Mr. Jesse Nekula. Hopefully he's okay. How many fingers am I holding up? Man. But this is the last green-white checkered attempt. Stakes are high for these drivers. Right now I got 8 drivers on the lead lap. Only one can win. The question is, who will that be? Will it be Eddie Smith, a driver who's dominated most of this race? Jamie Barkas, another one of our leaders. Or Josh Oz. Our top 3 is all drivers who have led big chunks of tonight's event. Which one will win, though? And if we see a wreck for third for the top 3, we might see somebody like Daniel Cunningham or Kai Schappert pick up the win. So here we go. This is it. The final green-white checkered. Not going green this time by. Should be going green next time by. And for this green-white checkered, here's a look at your current top 5. We see Eddie Smith in first. Jamie Barkas in second. Third is Josh Oswald. Running in that 4th position, it's Daniel Cunningham. And then right now, rounding out your top 5 currently, it is Kai Schappert. A good top 5 with the cream of the crop of this Extreme Xfinity Series. It seems like as this race has gone on, the cream has risen to the top for this event. But in the end, who is it going to be that calls victory lane home here at Richmond? Lights are off on the pace car. Getting ready to go back green. Eddie Smith restarting on the bottom. Jamie Barkas restarting on the top. Behind them, it's Josh Oswald. Daniel Cunningham. This is it for all the marbles. The final green-white checkered. Stakes are high. The fans are on their feet. The drivers taking some last deep breaths before I feel like when I have a green-white checkered situation, I'm holding my breath. So these drivers just take this time to take a deep breath, tighten those belts one more time. And here we go. Pace car is in. Green flag is out there. We see Eddie Smith taking off. We see Josh Oswald taking it all the way down onto the apron. We see right now Daniel Cunningham reeling in Jamie Barkas for that 2nd spot. Let's see what he can do here. Cunningham looking high, looking low, trying to set up that pass. Let's see what he can do. I don't know. Coming to 1 lap to go. Eddie Smith with a 3/10 lead. Can Barkas make that back up? Coming into 1 and 2. I don't know. It actually looks like the gap's extending for that 1st spot. 3 wins this season for Eddie Smith. He's already got a hat trick this season. Coming off of turn number 4. Looks like he's going to add another one. Eddie Smith will win the race here, and he spins a car. That is awesome. Eddie Smith slides across the line in first. Way to finish the race off in style. Let's take a look at that replay of that again. And he's just going to manually disconnect. Wow. What a race there. Looks like we are now waiting for some of our drivers to get into the waiting room for pulling them in. There we go. We got your winner, Eddie Smith, into the waiting room. We're still waiting for Cunningham and Jamie Barkas. There we go. We got Daniel Cunningham currently sitting in that waiting room. Let's go ahead and pull him in. Daniel, this is Atlee in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Awesome. Well, what a race for you. I know you started in that top 3, and that's where you stayed for most of this race, but then you kind of fell off to around 6th or 7th, and then that's where you stayed. But then on that hectic last couple green-white checkers, we saw Josh and Caustic and Necula all get into each other, and that was able to boost you back up to that third spot, and you're able to stay there for the rest of the race. I mean, what was your take on all the racing here at Richmond?
Overall, I thought it was a good race, a fun race. It was nice to have some green flag runs and to be able to, get some good racing in. The last restart where we had the wreck that happened in front of me, I think I saw my life flash before my eyes a couple times there. I kind of saw it happening, so I rolled out of it, and I thought it was over, and started to get back on the throttle, and then I saw two cars sideways in front of me. But yeah, it was a good race, had fun. Yeah, it's just a good day.
Now, we saw something unique here tonight where the race started at nighttime and then we saw the sun rose. How did the track change after that sun came out?
It definitely, for me, seemed like the track actually started to drive a little bit better as the sun came out. And yeah, I mean, for whatever reason, I didn't fight the loose off quite as much as I did early on in the race. I mean, on cold tires, it was still like that, but I mean, I'm a big fan of Richmond. I love the track. I think it's more fun during the day when it starts to slide around a little bit more. But yeah, definitely a little bit different curveball that we had with that transition.
Now, before we let you go, Daniel, is there any sponsors or shout-outs you'd like to thank for your third place finish?
I just thank you guys for putting on the broadcast, and thanks to Jonah and all the admins for what they do. I know he's been running race control and not racing the last couple weeks, so appreciate him doing what he does for the league, and just hope everybody has a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year the next couple weeks.
Appreciate that, Daniel, and I hope you have also a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and a great rest of your night. So have a great rest of your night, Daniel. Congratulations on the third place finish.
Thank you.
No problem. Let's pull in your second place finisher now, Jamie Barkis. Jamie. Sorry. Jamie, this is Atlas in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, man. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Looks like you were doing pretty good out there yourself. I know you started in that top two, and that's where you stayed for most of the race. There on the start, you kind of fell back a little bit, and you were able to work your way back up, and you led for a little bit of this race. And then we saw there and after some of the pit cycle, we saw Eddie was able to get in front of you, and he kind of stayed behind Eddie for most of this race. You weren't quite up there to first, but you weren't with the rest of the third, fourth, fifth place cars. You were just kind of in your own little world. It was still very, very fast here tonight, but I mean, you couldn't quite get up there to Eddie there at the end, but still awesome run. I mean, what was your take on this race here at Richmond?
Overall, it was a good race. Eddie's a machine, and this has been my first time in the car in probably about 4 weeks, so I only got about the 40 minutes of the practice session in tonight, so you're not going to beat somebody like Eddie with lack of preparation like that. So we're definitely happy with second place finish here tonight. Not real thrilled with how some people were racing out there. Stuff was put out earlier this week about the expectations about aggressive driving and stuff, and then we got a guy who's supposed to be in charge, and he's out there on old tires and running, like he did. So wasn't real happy with that. That hurt the car big time there late in that race. So, but we had a chance, late caution there evened everything out. And, Eddie just is Eddie. So, congrats to him for pulling off the win.
Now, how were the tires feeling throughout this race? I know we saw the little curveball with the night today. I mean, how were the tires feeling throughout this race?
Well, again, Eddie was much better saving his, and I definitely was saving mine. It wasn't too bad until late in those runs, and then it was just tires were bad. It was sliding getting in, and wanting to get loose off, especially off of turn four. Turn four started getting worse and worse as the run went on. But it was definitely a handful late in the run. So yeah, there was definitely tire wear out there.
Gotcha. Well, before we let you go, Jamie, is there any sponsors or shout-outs before we let you go?
Thank you guys with Intensity. Do a great job as always. I enjoy watching these back after we're done here. And, of course, Pat, got to thank Pat for coming out and spotting for me tonight. And, maybe we need to get him suspended more often. It was nice having him take control of everything. All I had to do was focus on driving. So that was a big help there. And, of course, our sponsors at Goat Locker Racing, Jam Praying Promotions, Gill Insurance Advisors, Veterans 48, Travis Lee Creative. They what helped make this thing go, so we appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, again, congratulations on the runner-up finish, Jamie, and hopefully we'll see many good performances throughout the season. Have a great rest of your night.
All right, you too, man.
Yeah, thank you. And now let's pull in your winner from Brandon, Mississippi. It's the 87 of Eddie Smith. Eddie, this is Atlee in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey, what's going on?
It's going pretty good, and looks like it was going pretty good out there for you as well. You were actually one of the pretty big mover in this race after starting in sixth. You quickly worked your way up to the field. You were kind of chilling out around that third spot in the beginning of the race with Warren and Cunningham up there up front. And then we saw Barkus lead a little bit. And then after we saw the green flag pit stops go on, you were able to get up there to first, and you kind of stayed there for the rest of the race. I know you came in and Josh was leading those laps, but then you were able to take the lead back from him and led from there. I mean, what was your take on this race here at Richmond?
Well, I thought it was a really clean race. Everybody was driving really hard, but also really respectful, and it was fun. I raced with a lot of guys, and we had some different pit strategies. It was a bad qualifying effort for me. I'd been practicing 2-lap qualifying runs that whole practice time. Like, okay, I'm gonna nail it, and then I give up my first lap, go into to get the good run for the second lap, and just spun it out going into one. So completely botched that up. So I had to start in the back and was able to get up to the front, and then through green flag pit stops, yeah, just worked out. Barkus figured something out about halfway through, and he was running me down. But I noticed I wasn't gonna make it on fuel, and so I decided to try to pit early and see if I could get I didn't know who could save enough or whatever, because I knew I was in trouble. So I tried to pit early enough to try to make sure nobody else was going to try to make it all the way, really kind of force their hand if I could. And so it looked like most people couldn't make it. So a good race. I'm happy with it. I didn't wreck anybody. I've had this awful streak of running in the back of people in the last 2 races here in the Xfinity Series. So to get out of here without touching nobody, without nobody spinning out because of me, I'm totally thrilled. And to get the win is almost secondary. So pretty excited about this one.
I mean, out of anything, what do you think set you apart from the rest of the field here tonight at Richmond?
Man, I don't know. It seems like, based on what I was seeing out of everybody else, maybe overdriving turn 1 and 2 a little bit. I saw some guys trying to either dominate or just not able to hold the bottom. So I feel like I was really committed to staying on the bottom on both turns, and that seemed to be a really good place to be, and didn't burn my stuff up so bad. I heard some people say the right fronts were in the 60s, and I was able to save in like the 80s. So I think just saving the right front with how tight it got, especially once the sun came out, I got even tighter. So I think just trying to be smooth, be smart, and just roll the corner.
Awesome. Well, before we let you go, Eddie, is there any sponsors or shout-outs before we let you go for your win?
Yeah, I want to thank JC Motorsports. I want to thank Jamie Barkus for a great race. Glad to have him back. Anytime we can get as many Goat Locker boys as I can get into to race with me, I'm always happy. So good race by him. Glad to have him back. And thank JC Motorsports, and thank y'all. Thank you, Atlee, man. You do a great job. I really enjoyed listening to your broadcast. I think you do an awesome job every time. You're really professional, and man, I'm always watching broadcasts trying to learn from you. So I just want to thank you for doing the broadcast, man.
I appreciate the kind words there, Eddie. So again, congratulations on the win, and have a great rest of your night.
All right, thanks, Atlee.
Yeah, no problem. Well, that is going to do it for the broadcast here tonight. One more time, we do want to check in with our in-race reporter, Matt Knights. Matt, what'd you think of this race here tonight?
It was actually a really good race. Got a little squirrely at a couple times, but overall, really clean race for 175 laps at Richmond with only a couple cautions here and there. A great group of people that put this on. Intensity broadcasting just is icing on the cake for this league. So appreciate appreciate everybody at both Goat Locker and Original Rebels. Like I said, the two best groups. Just happy to be such a part of it.
I agree, man. I was expecting a lot more cautions, but I mean, this group of guys, I mean, they're such good drivers, all have such great respect for each other. I mean, it was just some good racing. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to watch the broadcast here on Intensity Broadcasting. Make sure to like, follow and subscribe to Intensity Broadcasting on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, as it would be greatly appreciated. We're trying to reach our goals of 2,000 followers on Facebook and 1,000 subscribers on YouTube by our 2-year anniversary, which will be April of 22. It's free and it's greatly appreciated. Also, check us out on Twitter, Intensity Broad 1. We're always dropping polls and asking questions on there. It's a fun time, so make sure to check us out on there as well. I'm Atlee Atman-Weisman on behalf of the entire Intensity Broadcasting team. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Over and out.